Hi there. I forgot to grab the tumbler I was going to show y'all. I got to do a fall tumbler. Hey, it's Sandy with Quilted Treasures and More. I guess I should say hello and good evening or good night. I'm so used to saying good evening. Too many prior lives in the evening hours. I have to get used to saying good night now. All right, so tonight I have in front of me a s- triple stack of pumpkins here. Hey, Miss Terry, how are you today? I hope you had a good weekend. I have, well, let's start out with what's been happening around the crafting table. We have had some t shirts and some tumblers and some door hangers going on. And I was going to show you, hang on, I'm going to grab it. I'll set my apron right there. Pay no attention to the crazy stack of door hangers behind me. I'll show y'all these. This one I did, check this out. It says thankful, grateful, blessed. I love the fall on this one. And then all my gnomies, all my gnomies out there, check out the gnomes. I got to do these this weekend, so I was like, oh, cool. So I'm enjoying doing the fall tumbler thing. I've done one other one with some gnomes, um, but this one had, oh, this one's got, it's got the pumpkin, the fall leaf. It has a pie, a football, and a spiced pumpkin drink. So it covers all the aspects of fall. Okay, let me get my apron out of the way here. I grabbed it. I was going to put it on, but then I remembered, oh, I got to remind y'all about the t-shirt drop going on. Um, this one, and my camera's going to freeze up. Yay! This one is called Mumster, and it was so funny. I saw this and I went, oh, I don't usually do the whole dressing up for Halloween thing, but I was like, you know what? This is my costume this year. So this is what I'm going with. Oh my goodness. Yes, Miss Terry, I am doing very well. Um, I have been just sorting through some things this weekend and trying to catch up on some much needed scheduling and paperwork and all that good stuff and trying to sort out. I got a huge thing of t-shirts in the other day and I'm trying to get them all stacked up into their orders and all that good stuff. So you love the gnomes. You're a gnomie. Nice to meet you, Nomi. Oh my goodness. Hey, Miss Cheryl. Yes, the gnomes and the I don't know if you saw did you see this one makes me think of you, Miss Cheryl. Thankful, grateful, blessed. All the fall colors and leopard. Whoop whoop. So those are a couple that I got to work on. Those are part of orders, but I wanted to show you to them or show them to you, show you to them, show you to them, people, tumblers, people. Um, show them to you before I send them out, and I'll be posting pictures, of course, of them. So, thank you. You love my shirt. I like my shirt too. It's so funny because there's so many of this design out with so many different themes going on with it, and this one was just so cute for Halloween. So I was like, okay, I've got to do this one. All right, let's get started on our triple pumpkins here. There's three different pumpkins, three different colors. They're stacked, and I'm gonna change the view here so that way you can see more pumpkin, less me. All right, so what I'm gonna start with, I am gonna add some polka dots to the background, and then I'm gonna do some distressing on this one. So we're gonna jump right in with doing some polka dots. The color, I went ahead and colored the background of this one because I was trying to get a little bit of a jump on, so we wouldn't be here all night long. So what I am doing right now, the background color is called Sweet Mint. It's a color I like to use um, for like winter stuff. so like the snow and all that good stuff. Oh, congratulations on the clubhouse. Thank you so much. I was so excited. Um, for those of you who did not see my post, I've been involved with a group called the Painters Clubhouse for a while, for let's see, 2 years, 2 years now, just over 2 years. And the Painters Clubhouse was actually uh, it's a group where we learn techniques and uh, encourage each other for painting door hangers or anything else for that matter. Door hangers are kind of the primary thing, but shoot, we encourage each other for canvases and whatever else we can come up with. And here, oh gosh, a couple of weeks ago, I got an email and asked if I would like to be part of um, a smaller group that just kind of helps in any way I can within the group, especially our newer members in the group for any questions that they may have regarding, techniques or the other day I helped a lady who had a question about a laser machine and cutting door hangers with a laser, which is what we do. So I was able to talk to her a little bit about the laser machine. So um, it's pretty cool, I have to say. I was it's one of those deals where I was shocked to get the email asking, and then I was like, total 15-year-old meeting rock star kind of moment where I was just like, so it's just been really cool. And so I'm super excited to be able to it's not I guess it's not really anything that I wasn't doing before, just hanging out in the group and answering some questions, but it is pretty cool because they kind of spotlight you and you know that people can come to you to ask questions. So it is pretty neat. I am very honored to be part of the Clubhouse crew. In this whole journey kicking off a couple of years ago, if you had told me, "Oh yeah, they're going to ask you," I would have went, "No, not me." I think I should have put just a little more white. Oh, I don't know. Maybe that's enough. So all I'm doing right now is just making polka dots. I want to add some polka dots to the background, and from there, I'm actually going to distress it. So we're going to be doing a few things with this one. So just buckle your seatbelts and hang on. That's what I used to tell my daughter when things would get kind of crazy and we would have to rush off somewhere kind of last minute to go pick up something or whatnot. And I'd go, buckle your seatbelt and hang on, kiddo. When she was little, she'd go, okay, mommy. Not necessarily that I was driving fast. It was just a matter of, hey, we've got this and this to do, and we are headed out and going to be moving and grooving. I don't think I really placed that one exactly where I wanted it. Dum, 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 dum. I hate not to put something there. I feel like something needs to be there. All right, I'm just going to tap it on the edge a little. Twist that one a little, tap that one a little. So all I'm doing is basically making triangles with my, oh, click, click. That's funny, Terry. I just saw that in the comments. Click, click. She's buckled in. She's ready to go. Oh my gosh. So I'm kind of making just a triangle. Let me see if I can get here where I can get it on camera. So if you notice there's two here and I just put one here to kind of make a triangle. Same thing here, upside down triangle. So if I kind of work in that pattern, then they're not like all on top of each other and I can kind of space them out a little bit, but also not get them right on Now, if you notice, I'm hovering over part of my pumpkins. And so what I'm doing is I'm thinking, okay, if I were to create one here, so if I made two slots here and one here, but I'm not actually putting that down, then I would put one about here. And so what I'm doing is putting a post-it note down so that I don't have to come back and really work to keep paint out of my pumpkin. So with this one, I've got two here. My third one would be the imaginary one out here. And then I could put one like right here. And then I can come down here and put one. This is where it gets kind of crazy because you're kind of trying to figure out where you're putting them. And I need to space these out a little more. All right, so there, there, there. I got a good number of them that are on the edge. I didn't really mean for it to work out that way. But it does look pretty super cool because it looks like you've got polka dots that are just everywhere when it works out that way. It's a little odd sometimes, but it does give it a unique look. All right, so there, and then there, there. And then I picked a bigger polka dot, so I'm not going to get many in this little area. But I do get one in over here that's going to be just a little partial one. So there. And I could do a partial one right here. I'm just going to roll him on his side because that's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to do this one. Okay, well, this is why we have baby wipes. So that way we can just clean up where we don't want that little bit of paint. All right, so now I've got my polka dots. Ta-da! Just a little bit lighter. There's not a huge difference in the polka dots, but it's a little bit lighter than the sweet mint. So I added just a little bit of white to that. Now then, oh goodness gracious me, I can see me getting ready to have an absolute disaster moment here. I have to pay attention because when I do these on the edge, 9 times out of 10, when I twist, I end up with paint on the side of my door hanger. So if I'm not careful, what do? I get up next to the door hanger and I get paint all over my shirt. So this is why a lot of times if I'm doing something where I know I'm probably going to get paint on me, I'll go ahead and just put my apron on. Oh, baby wipes are our best friends, Miss Terry. Definitely. Okay, so I've got my polka dots on, and now what I want to do, I'm going to dry this just a little bit. And while I'm drying this, the way I'm going to distress this is I've got a chip brush, and I'm going to take some white paint, and I'm just going to dry my chip brush off. I'm going to put some paint on it and then take a lot of the paint out of it, and then turn around and almost dry brush it on there. It'll have it won't be quite what I call a really dry brush, but a lot of the paint will be out of it. I feel like my polka dots are fading away. I should have put some more white in there, I guess. They looked really good at first. I thought, oh, this turned out great. But now they seem to be fading into the background. I've got a few that I had just a little bit too much still on the edge of my um, sponge pouncer. And what I was doing, I don't know if you noticed or not, what I was doing is when I was using the sponge pouncer, I would get the paint on there, but then I wiped it on the side of the plate. And what it does is it gets off the excess so you don't have the areas where they glob really badly. And so, me either being in a hurry or because it's on the edge, I probably pushed down a little too hard and squished some of that paint out of there and ended up with it on the clumped up there, which I'm like, oh, phooey. Okay. Well, I tell you what, I'm gonna start at the top and I'll distress downward. Hopefully some of this will be dry by the time I get to this part. If not, then I'll hit it with the blow dryer one more time. I'm trying to get my days off on Sunday and Monday. If so, I can hang out with you every oh, cool. Yay. I know last week I was like, where's Miss Terry? And then I thought, oh, she's probably working this week. So I happened to think about that last week. I bet she's working this week. So I missed you last week, but I'm glad you're here this week. I was trying to think of what I did last week. Oh, I did the little peppermint train last week. It was so funny because Miss Tamara turned around and did that one, and I was like, "Oh, I just did that one." So it was kind of funny. All right, so I'm just using everything tonight. I grabbed a paper plate because it was easier to use with the sponge pouncer, and now I've got a lid to my egg carton. And the reason why I grabbed it is because I just like to brush off. I can take and brush off on the side or on the bottom, the extra, and then I can just kind of streak down. And sometimes you got to do it more than once. I love doing this with the rustic stuff. I've got some rustic letters that I like to do, and I love the way the chip brush gives the distressed and rustic look to the letters, especially if you do them in multiple colors. To me, that's really cool. And I like to go along the edge and kind of flip the brush in, and it gives the edge a little bit of a distressed look to it. If you see right there along the edge, sometimes it's hard to see in this light. Why? Oh, and oh, you did an apple like that? Was it the which apple was it? Was it the porch sitter apple? There's an apple that's a porch sitter that I've done that one before, but I didn't distress it. But ooh, I bet that looks really good. I like the distressing on the edge, so I might actually come back and do a little more because it doesn't, it's like it shows up a little bit, but I like to have that messed up look kinda on the side. Oh, Erica Wallace's apple. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I know what you're talking about now. I know which one you're talking about now. I had somehow gotten unfollowed on Erica's page, and that's why I hadn't seen anything from her in so long. I went back and I was like, I know, because I used to get things all the time. And then all of a sudden it just kind of went away. And I was like, well, and then when you said something about it here a few weeks back, I went back and pulled her page up and it had, would you know, it had the thing, had the follow button where I could click on it. And I was like, are you kidding me? I'm like, I didn't unfollow her. So technology. I don't know what happened. But I followed her again. If she watches her Facebook numbers, she's probably like, "Oh yay, a new person." It's like, no, actually I'm an old person. I just, I got unfollowed somehow. I kind of like the way this distressing is sort of hitting the edge of the I don't know if y'all can see that or not, but right here at the edge of this polka dot, it's like the white is clipping the edge of it. So it almost looks like it's been highlighted in a way. All right, now this is one of those things where if you're not careful, you'll get super carried away. But I wanted just a few bold streaks. So I didn't quite empty my brush as much this time. Gotta watch, I'll be splattering paint everywhere. I did that one time with the toothbrush method when I was doing snow on one of the door hangers I was doing. I can't even remember which one I was doing now, but anyway, I thought I was doing really, really good at keeping all of my quote unquote snow on what I was painting. After I got through with my live, I I got to looking at everything up here in this area behind where my door hanger can be seen from the overhead camera. Everything back here was splattered in white. I was like, oh my goodness. Okay, well, this is not good. Okay, I'm just gonna put the brush down now. Because I'll be here playing with it for a while, and then we'll never get to anything else tonight, and it'll be tomorrow before I get finished. So, all right, I'm going to start with this top pumpkin, and the top one I'm going to paint buttermilk. So I am going to get some buttermilk in. Is this the one I want to use? I think this is the one I want to use. Yeah. I'm going to paint the top one with a buttermilk color. I like the buttermilk color in fall door hangers and stuff. I know a lot of times different things that I take part in, workshops and whatnot, will use white, but I really do like I've almost been tempted to use buttermilk on lettering where we normally would use white because I'm like, I just like that with the fall colors for some reason. It just, to me, may not be that way to everybody, but to me, the buttermilk is just, I don't know, it has more of the fall. I don't really want to say flair because it's not a bold color. To me, it just goes well with the fall colors. I like the way it looks, especially with some of the darker reds, like the burgundies and things like that. Oh, did you see the dog as he passed by? That's Charlie. It's so funny. Um, because Tamara has, of course, her daughter's name is Charlie. And so she has Charlie who pops up on camera. And I'm thinking, well, I have a Charlie who pops up on camera too, but he, he's our dog. He's a miniature schnauzer. And yeah, he likes to walk through. I have fought and fought and fought with this camera setup. And so I finally just gave up and said, oh, well, I just let it be. Sometimes I called his name. Now he's going to prance through 4 or 5 times. Uh, I just let the camera be, however it, decides to do for the night. I've discovered that the more I fiddle with it, the worse it gets. It usually ends up shrinking during the live if I'm not careful. So I try not to play with the camera too much. But yes, that's our Charlie puppy. Like I said, he's a miniature schnauzer. He is a silvery gray color. He's been with us for quite a few years now. He just turned 15 years old. So he is a little bit up in age. He likes to be snuggled a lot at this stage in his life. He would much rather have somebody sit with him all day long and just let him snuggle up beside than he would, unless he's really cold. Then he likes to go outside and be in the sunshine. But he pretty much is just a real snuggle bug. So he likes to snuggle with everybody. Oh, you have a beagle? Ooh. I had a basset hound for oh goodness, 13 years. I actually went and picked him out when he was just a newborn pup. So I had a basset hound for 13 years. His name was Harry, and he was he was like my child because I pretty much raised him. When he came, when I got him, when he was old enough to leave his mom. Um, did I just get paint all over my shirt? No, I think it's water. I don't think it's paint. Okay, good. I'm like, oh, don't mess up the shirt right off the bat. I have had to scrub paint out of quite a few shirts. So you could be a dog hoarder. Okay, a beagle named Ruby and a mixed husky. Oh, a mixed husky and lab. Oh, so you have Ruby and Penny. Oh, a husky and a lab. Oh, wow. Now I just drew a blank. What am I mixing with with my navy blue here? Am I mixing white with navy blue too? Or am I mixing buttermilk? I can't remember. Okay, we're gonna mix white. I think it was white. I'm drawing a blank. We're gonna go with white. Yeah, that looks about right. I'm dropping dried paint on my stuff here. Find my baby wipe and clean the end, or I will have, I've already got paint on me all over the place, but I will have blue paint on me from head to toe if I'm not careful. All right, so yeah, I'm sure you can see the design on this middle one. I'm just going to paint right over the top of those designs. They're etched into the wood, but you can still see them through the paint, especially after it dries. Now, sometimes when it's wet, you think, oh my goodness, I can't see anything. I get tickled sometimes at paint parties because um, that's the first thing people notice when they start painting. They're like, I can't see the design anymore. I'm like, just give it a minute, finish painting it, and then let it dry for a second, and it'll stand back out. Of course, the other thing, oh, I just painted it over the leaves. Sandy. I even got my glasses on and I painted over the leaves. Good grief. All right, another baby wipe emergency here. I think the design threw me off. I don't know. Yeah, I just painted all over that leaf. Oh my goodness. Yeah, we might just have to come back and paint over that one really good before we, which green is going on it. So, yeah, I don't think I have to really worry about it too much, but we'll get up as much as we can so that way I won't have one weird looking leaf. I mean, I like color variations and all, but you know, sometimes there's some color variations that people will look at you weird and be like, well, what color in the rainbow is that? Well, it's one I created. I made it up as I went along. Oh, let's see here. Ah, here's a dry paper towel. I'm just gonna hit my leaf a little bit with this paper towel just to get up. Those baby wipes, I love them, but sometimes they are so well saturated that all right, let me pay attention for just a minute here. Focus on what I'm doing. Go around this leaf. But sometimes those baby wipes are so saturated when you get them out of the package that, man, I was working on a door hanger the other day and it was one that had to be, or it was, I didn't have to be. It was one that I did the buffalo print on and buffalo plaid. And of course, when doing buffalo plaid, I have paint all over me. And so uh, I grabbed a baby wipe. Good grief. I looked like I had been playing in the soap suds. There was so much there was so much stuff on my hands. I was like, "Well," it was just kinda crazy. But some of them are well saturated when you get them. Terry, did you take part they have a lot yes, 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 yes. I have had baby wipes that, oh my goodness. You get through with using one and, uh, you end up having to try to take a brush and brush it off or you have to go over it or take a wet paper towel and try to get it off. It's sometimes they're wonderful because they really save you from having to do a whole lot of extra painting, but, sometimes you can get certain brands and you're just like, "Oh my goodness." Alright, so I'm gonna go one more coat over this. Hopefully, I got enough here mixed up so I don't have to try to blend again. 9 times out of 10, if I run out and have to blend again, I will just go ahead and make enough to start over because sometimes trying to get the exact same shade is not easy. So I'm just going to put another coat on this real quick. Terry, did you do the workshop where she did the triple pumpkins, where Tamara did the triple pumpkins? I got this template from Southern Adornment, and that's primarily where I get all my templates from, unless it's something that I have concocted and I'll paint it sometimes. But most of the time, I get templates from Tamara Bennett at Southern Adornment. Oh, black and white. Oh, wow. Did I remember seeing that? I think did you posted a picture or did you get in the parade? Did you get in the parade with your monochrome monochromatic pumpkins? I don't know why whenever I hear the word monochrome, I think about was it Simon and Garfunkel that had this song about oh, you weren't in the pumpkin parade? Did somebody else do theirs in black? I could have swore I saw a black and white one. Oh, you did post a picture. Okay, then that's where I saw it then. I was like, wait a minute, I think I remember seeing that. All right, so now I'm gonna mix another color. I've got this is just pumpkin that I'm pouring in here. It's a pretty bright orange. I like orange. I use a lot of the spiced pumpkin and the canyon orange when it comes to pumpkins. Um, I don't really use a lot of the bright colors on pumpkins. Um, but this time I'm gonna play with mixing. Let's see what I come up with here. Hmm, let's see. Ooh, okay. I can go with that. I like that. What'd I do with now my dog is in here yawning. Uh, I can go with that. I like that color. Got a little too much to come toward the edge though, but we'll spread him around momentarily. It's not so much that I'm concentrating as I'm looking at the color, making sure that this is what I really want before I've only painted half the pumpkin, but I'm still kind of looking at the color going, okay, did I mix it well enough? Does it look Does it look the way I want it to? It kind of reminds me of uh, not a red. Uh-oh, got a little bit of. I thought I had gotten all that out of my brush. Maybe not. Sometimes I have paints come back to haunt me, even though I feel like I had washed my brush really well, but they like sneak back in or something. This might have just a tinge. I might should have put just a tinge more orange with this. And sometimes I have to see it when it starts to dry because I'll think, oh no, it's too much this way or too much that way. And so sometimes I will skip the whole trying to mix colors and just find something close enough that's already bottled. So that way I don't have to go through the whole mixing and trying to find that good blend that I'm looking for. I don't know, maybe it's the light because I'll brush it out one time and think, oh yeah, I like this color. And then I do something and brush it out another time and think, I don't know. All right, let's see what it looks like when it's dry. I'll do the blow dryer here for a second. Did you see my? Oh, yes, I did. I love your cardinal that you did. That was so pretty. I did the had a few areas with a little bit of extra paint there. I have to brush over that in a minute. I did there was a one with a cardinal last year and it was sitting on a branch. It was one of Tamara's templates. I had so much fun with that one. I put snow text on it. I like using snow text. And now that I found you can put it on like beach scenes where it's like the foam of the waves and stuff, I'm like, great. Now I'll be using this stuff year round. I won't be just excited to see Christmas come so I can do things with the winter look, but I'll be adding it to, which is just, I don't know. I like snow text. It's like adding three-dimensional letters or whatnot to a door hanger or to a piece that you're working on. It just adds something else to it, gives it a little bit different look. I have to watch with the snow text though because I can get a little bit overboard with it. Like, oh yeah, just a little bit more. Oh, a little bit more, and then all of a sudden you feel like it's getting ready to all crash in on you, and you're like, okay, maybe I went too far. Terry, remind me where you're at. Oh, you love snow text too. Yeah. Uh, oh, you made the one with the cardinal for your neighbor. Oh, wow. Terry, you're in Virginia, right? West Virginia. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. I wasn't even sure if I completed my thought on that one. That's the point. I don't know. Maybe I need you know a little more coffee, caffeine, a snack. I knew I was gonna ask you where you were, but then I had a squirrel moment about the cardinal. Anyway, the reason why I asked where you were is did y'all feel any of the effects from uh um the hurricane? Ian. Yeah, I think it was Ian. It was crazy because I watched it for a solid week, trying to make sure, it which direction it was gonna go. Because being on the Gulf Coast in Lower Alabama, of course, we were not in the cone area, but, it wouldn't have taken much, and we would have been on the left side of it. So, of course, when storms pipe up, we always watch and, uh, pay attention to what's going on. So, I watched it, um, as it came up into the Gulf and, uh, of course, went across Florida and whatnot. And as far as I know, everyone that I am kind of linked with in Florida fared well. They didn't have any major problems. So just a little rain. My dad and the folks in East Tennessee sure could use some rain. It has been very, very dry up there, and they could sure use some rain for sure. When there's no rain, it messes up the colors. And so, they don't like it when there's not some rain. Okay, let's see. What do I want to do at the moment? I am gonna have to find my not that brush. Nope, not that brush. That nope, not that brush. Okay. I need I know this is crazy, but sometimes it's easier for me to just grab the whole line of brushes when it comes to my round brushes, pull them out and look at them and pick the one that I want. Is that the one I want? I think that's do 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 do. One of these. Which one is this one? Nope, not that one. I think it's this. I think it's this one. We'll see. We'll see momentarily. Ah, I think it's this one that I'm wanting. Okay, so what I am going to do is I'm going to get just some straight up navy. I'm not going to get a whole ton of it, but I'm going to start going over these little lines that make up these little flower designs on this pumpkin. So that way they'll stand out. And I may not get to all of my details tonight. I'm going to try. Are you doing a lot? Oh, yes, Florida had all kinds of stuff. Phew. I've seen some pictures and you're just like, oh man. Are you doing a lot of Christmas stuff right now, Terry? Or are you still kind of 50-50 with the fall? And I'd say I'm pretty much still 50-50 uh, for the moment. Now it won't take long and it'll change over and it'll be all Christmas stuff. But for the moment, I'm still kind of in the 50-50 realm. I've got people inquiring about Christmas gifts and things like that. So, but I've still got some folks that are working on their I painted another leaf. Oh my goodness. All right, so I'm just gonna chalk this up to probably I needed a little more caffeine. I can't say that I need a new prescription because these glasses are, basically brand new. I just got them at the first of the year, so, I don't think my prescription has run out just yet. All right, so I'm just working my way around all these little flowers. Cute little design on this pumpkin. It's got a little lattice work look to it. I like that. I think that's cute. And doing it in the navy blue get you a cold Pepsi. Now that's kind of funny. I don't think I've ever shared on my lives. Um, my grandfather and my dad both worked and retired from the Coca-Cola company. And so it's so funny because uh, growing up, my brother and I pretty much kind of deemed that the other company, of course, growing up in the 80s, it was the big cola war thing and all that. So we deemed that the other company, of course, was a bad word. So we never said that word. So that's so funny that you said that. But yes, my dad and my grandfather both worked for Coca-Cola and both retired from Coca-Cola. So we were Coca-Cola children. And of course, being, like I said, in the 80s during the quote unquote cola wars and all that, of course, that was a big thing to pick your side. It's kind of like living here in the state of Alabama. You have to, even if you just moved here, you have to declare your side. Are you Alabama or are you Auburn? You have to pick your side. I remember getting tickled at a lady. Uh, I don't even remember where I was. I was in a shop somewhere, and this has been quite a ways back, but she was saying, "Yeah, I just don't understand. This state is so football driven, and I get here, and my neighbors are like, you've got to pick a side." She's like, "I just didn't understand that. Why do I have to pick a side? I don't even watch football." Okay, I've only got just a little bit left. I'm not gonna pour more into my little egg carton there. I'm just gonna take the top off and dip out of the top. All right. Yay. So I got all my little lattice work done here. Y'all were the Pepsi people, huh? You think Coca-Cola invented Santa Claus? Well, it's funny because I do remember one time, the Santa Claus that they have in their advertisements, I do remember seeing something about all of that, and the Santa Claus had a different look until that ad campaign came out, and that kind of changed the look for Santa Claus when that ad campaign came out, so it was, I don't know, I don't remember the documentary and all that I was watching on that, but it was, oh, I know, it was a thing about commercials and how they had shaped, um, different images and whatnot of things, and of all things, they had the Coca-Cola Santa Claus on there. All right, maybe this will be enough. I don't have very much of this original blue left, but I've lightened it up just a little bit with a little more white. They made him up to sell more Coke. Oh my goodness. I'm not gonna do every little part uh, of these little flowers and lattice work, but what I am doing is coming in and I'm just kind of highlighting on one side of the lattice work, just so it'll stand out a little bit. And then also just a little bit on some of the flowers. Again, just so it'll stand out a little. Give it a little highlight, but it won't be the white that stands out real bright. This one's just a lighter color, lighter shade of blue. Is what stands out just a little. Pepsi must have been winning the Cold War. Ah, that's too funny. I don't remember when they said that Santa Claus came out in the advertisements. I'll have to go back and look that up now. I'm curious. I can always remember, growing up, watching out for the around Christmas time, waiting for the packages to come out. Um, that always had the Santa Claus featured on them. All right, so now I've got just a little bit left, and so I'm just going back to some of the ones I did over here on this side, and just making sure that I have a fairly decent balance of the two colors on the two sides. Okay, now then, What I want to do down here, I want to do a little bit of a mixture with, ah, here you are. I was like, what happened to my burgundy? Here you are. So I'm going to take a little bit of the burgundy. I didn't grab a cup of clean water. Oh, well, all right. It'll be okay. So I'm going to do a couple of things. I am going to take a little bit of the burgundy and I'm just going to bring the burgundy right around the edge. Just for a little bit of shading here on this pumpkin. Whoa, too much. It's okay. We can get it worked in. Just come back and we will work that in so that it's not that bold streak. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create some lines here. We don't really have a set line, but I'm just going to create some lines here. So first, I just went down with my burgundy. And now what I'm going to do is come back and kind of shade it a little bit. I'm going to do the same on this side. So I'm just going to come with the burgundy, and create my line that I want. And then I'm going to come back, add a little orange, and just a little more burgundy, and create the shade. And then I'm going to bring it on around to the bottom down here. And just let it come around a little more. I have to put just a little more orange. I didn't think it would dry that fast. I just put orange down there and now I feel like I'm fighting with the brush. And I'll check that out once it dries and see. Very pretty. Oh, I know. I love the way shading just makes everything pop. And it's like shading's one of those things where, you were happy with the way things looked before you learned how to shade, but now that you know how to shade, it's just like, oh, everything has to be shaded. And so you're like, oh my goodness. And again, I just did this. with paint, and already it is drying. Shading and highlights. Oh, I know. Once you've done them, then you feel like you just can't stop, and it's like, no, I have to do something, and there has to be one more step. It needs a little more. Oh, I did try that, stencil dry highlighting, and I think I might be addicted to that now. Matter of fact, I may try that on this one. I wasn't going to, but since we've opened up this can of worms, I may try doing that because I did that on, some pumpkins the other day that I did, and I was just like, "Oh my gosh, I love this." So, okay. Let's see, and I'm gonna do this with some buttermilk. So, trying to say, I know I've got another paper towel around here somewhere. It's hid. All right, so, uh-oh, got a flake of something. Oh, there it goes. Okay, so now I'm going to do this a couple of different ways. First, I'm going to take just a little bit of the buttermilk. I actually did that a little too dark, but that's okay. I'll come back over it with some orange here in a minute. I didn't try this the other day. I saw somebody else do this, and I was like, "Ooh, I like the way that looks." So I'm testing it out, testing out a new thing I saw. All right, so that's with the buttermilk. Now I've actually got my deep ochre here. You like that? I kind of like the way it gives it that little curve to the top, where it looks like it's just gives you more of the depth part. Oh, there's that other. Man, I've got paper towels everywhere. I know I had one. I knew I had this one, but I forgot I had that one. All right, so I'm gonna play with the dry brush thing because I really did like the way this looked. So I'm just gonna come just right here close to this white and just kind of put it in between. And I know I haven't even done my leaves yet, but But I'm just curious as to how this will look on this one. The other day when I did it on the pumpkins I was working on, I was like, "Ooh, I like this." I thought it turned out really well. To me, that dry brush look almost gives it, a soft hint rather than, a bolder look like the doing it with the wet, the wet paints. And I don't know if that's showing up or not. If you can see the just the little bit of hint of the ochre, just getting a little bit of color variation there. And then I'm gonna come down this side and come across the bottom. So I kind of like that on the orange and the way it makes it look. Okay, so this, I'm gonna at least wrap up in a baby wipe so that way I can clean it later. Because the last time I used a stencil brush, I just tossed it in the water with the rest of my brushes. I mean, it didn't hurt it. I mean, it's still here. I'm still using it, but I didn't. I've not really done a whole lot with stencils, so I did not know it's better to wash it out with baby wipe or alcohol and then let it dry. I did not know that, so I learned something new the other day. So that was pretty neat. All right, let's get to the leaves. So that way we can at least have a pretty good idea of what everything is going to look like. And I just grabbed a round brush for this because I know some of these leaves are kind of big, but some of them are a little skinnier than the others. And filbert tip probably would have been a better choice, but that's okay. Oh, this is the one where I have two leaves that well, I have one leaf that I completely covered in blue. So he's going to be a slightly different shade of green. Here he is right here. Get ready to expose the leaf. I may not have to put a second coat on him. He's a pretty dark green, just going over the blue. Maybe I should have left it all painted blue, huh? Would have saved me from doing 2 and 3 coats. Good grief. Oh my goodness, my goodness. And all it amounted to is I got to paying attention to the lattice work and everything, and I sure didn't see that leaf. He got lost in the lattice and the flowers, and I'm like, oh well. But that's okay. We like variations in our colors and whatnot, so I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with the buttermilk. Um, I think in that workshop, didn't they do it with uh, leopard print? Is that what they did? Hand sanitizer, yes. Hand sanitizer to clean the stencil brushes. Yes. I saw hand sanitizer and I saw alcohol, and which, depending upon which hand sanitizer you pick, you know. I just grabbed a baby wipe. So far, that's worked pretty good. I've used that a couple of times. Okay, now I'm going to use the light. That was the dark Hauser green. Now I'm going to use light Hauser green. I really shouldn't have tossed that in to the paint water. Just pick it up and do with the other. I would have had a interesting kind of mix going on, which probably would have been pretty cool. I've been watching a few of the different ones, um, just picking up and going straight from one color to the other. And some of the variations that happen with the colors is pretty cool looking. Yes, leopard print. That's what I thought. I've been debating on whether to do, I've got a stencil over here. And I'm like, I know I saw one with like checkered marks on it, a checkerboard look to it. I thought that was pretty cool. I don't have a checkerboard stencil, and I really don't think me trying to freehand a checkerboard is probably a good idea. So I had thought about doing the the stencil because got one here. I've not yet. I bought it. I bought stencils when I attended the virtual uh, Southern Adornments live. Ooh, yeah, I got some dark green mixing in there. That's okay. Kind of like that look. It's like instantaneous shading. I'm safe with the stencil tonight. This is the stencil I was thinking about using. Uh, I used this one, if you can see the pattern on that one. I used that one on a sunflower. And so I thought about using this one. It came in, there was a 2-pack when I bought that. I was going to get the stencil that I knew out of Tamara's shop, and it was all sold out by the time I got around to getting to that point where I was like, oh, yeah, I got to have a stencil. And so I ended up just getting those as the backup. And so I thought about doing that. Did you do the leopard on your black and white? I don't remember. Okay, I'm gonna quit playing with leaves. We're gonna leave the leaves alone. All right, real quick, I'm gonna get the stems in. And let's see, I've got a, well, I thought I had a smaller brush. Yeah, I think this one will do. I'll go with this one. Get our stems done. And then, oh, you did stripes. Ooh, stripes and squares. Oh, okay. Ooh, I bet that is very pretty. I want to say I faintly remember seeing a black and white. I do remember seeing a black and white. I just don't remember all the details that were on it. All right, blow dry these three real quick. I'm gonna put one more coat on that, and then we're gonna stencil this other one. And then all that's left is just grab a paint pen and run around the outside. And I may do a few. I've already done highlights on the middle pumpkin with the lighter blue, and actually I've done some highlights on the bottom pumpkin. So I don't know that I'm going to do a whole lot with just the white paint pen. I actually have a buttermilk paint pen, and I actually will use it sometimes on some of the fall colors rather than white. So I will get my stencil out. We'll see how this works. This stencil is actually not big enough to cover that whole pumpkin. Okay, I think that's dry enough. Let's see what we can do here. Yep, wrong one. That was the stencil I used on the sunflower. I knew that didn't look right when I grabbed it. I was like, wait a minute. Okay, here we go. See what we can do here. Because this one is not going to reach all the way across. So I'll just have to be really careful. Try to get it to where the edges are far enough over. Okay, here we go. I think I'm gonna do this. You know what? I think. Let's see here. Bum. Wonder what would happen if I stuck just a little bit of the buttermilk. Or a little bit of the chocolate in with the butter. That's not going to be dark enough. That's not going to show up. All right, let's add some more chocolate. Because I don't really want to do chocolate, but because I don't want it to be extremely bold, but I do want it to stand out. Okay, let's see how this is going to work. All right, I don't want that stencil because that one is going to be just a tinge too small. Maybe this one. Let's go with this one. And I'm just going to have to be really careful. So this is just going to be a lighter version of the milk chocolate. I didn't want it to be exactly like the stems, but I did want it to have this color. Now to see if I can keep this from moving. I would have taped it down, but I'm like, it's such a small space. Hmm. Get up between the leaves. Okay, I'm almost to the point here. Did I get them all? That is a very good question. Check them all before I pick this up. Okay, moment of truth. Hmm, well, it's not horrible. Now, you know what? I'm going to dry this side just a little. Actually, when I did this on the sunflower, I actually came back with a very thin liner brush and ended up touching up some of the places where the stencil, me and the stencil didn't quite get along. All right, so now I need to finish out, but let me get things lined up here. Nope, 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 nope. That's not going to work because it's got to come up here. Is that gonna? Oh, good, that'll work. Okay, yay. All right, now this is going to be bad because my hand's going to be in the way. And if I spin it around, see how well I got these lined up here in just a minute. Nope. A little bit more. A little bit outside my pumpkin on that one, but that's okay. I can always get him up. As soon as I get this picked up. All right. Yay. Now I got to clean my stencil brush again. Well, actually, this is a different one, so. But there are a couple of areas where I need to do just a little bit. Let me turn it around so we can look at it right side up. Hey, I kind of like that pattern on there. There's a few little places where I need to fix boo-boos, but I have not done a whole lot with stencils, so I need Charlie's help to hold it down. That's too funny. Oh, Charlie would, you know, Charlie will gladly help. Okay. Oh, I know what I was gonna do. I was gonna get this one little spot up real quick before it dried too much. Let me fix my one boo-boo that I know my outline is not gonna cover. All right, there we go. And I got a little bit right there. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna grab my black paint pen and I'm gonna go around everything so that way it stands out and we can get a good idea of what it looks like tonight. And then, sometimes I'll get up the next morning and I'll actually finish things because sometimes when I get up the next morning, I can see, to me, it's a little clearer where I want my highlights to go. Sometimes it's when I'm sitting there and then sometimes it's the next day. Just depends on how long I've been working on it and all that good stuff. As to whether or not I think I need to come at it with fresh eyes. I do think I like my little stencil pattern on there. I don't mind doing leopard print. I like doing leopard print. I've done that on quite a few things, but I think it's one of those deals where after you've done it, especially on fall stuff 4 or 5 times, you're just like, okay, is there something else I can try? So I think that's probably why I was looking at a stencil instead of just doing the leopard print on that one. I'm just going to flip it around and come where I'm pulling to me on this side. And just finish up my little leaves here. And then, like I said, I'll probably look at it in the morning and see what I think may need. I mean, I know the leaves, I'm gonna put some highlights on the leaves and things. So I know I'm gonna do that. And I don't know, I may come back and even do a little bit of shading. So you don't care much for the leopard print. It's kind of funny because I've discovered people are usually one way or the other. I've got quite a few folks that I know that they love leopard print, everything leopard print. And then Um, I've got some other folks that they're like, I'm over leopard print. So I think it goes both ways. And I don't know. I was never really, it's kind of crazy because I didn't really get into the big major end of having leopard print, but yet I ended up with a lot of leopard print somehow. Not real sure how that happened. I've got some shirts and actually I've got a wrap, and I think it was just a matter of the things that I was finding. Uh, I liked them, and the only style was leopard print, and so I ended up with it. So I think that's how that ended up. I think I may do a big bold line around the edge, or I may do some squiggly lines. I'm not real sure yet. I'm gonna wait and sleep on that one. But I'll post some pictures after I finish all the little fine details and doing a little bit of touch up here in my upper pumpkin where some of the stencil it didn't get not dark enough uh, for my taste. So I'll do some touch up and different things. But here's the main thing for tonight. Just getting in the main details and some shading, and of course our polka dots, which kind of show up. I can see them better just looking at it, but it's funny how in the light sometimes it doesn't stand out. And I think it's really cool how the distressing actually kind of highlighted some of the edges of those polka dots and kind of made them stand out a little more. So, but there's our fall stacked pumpkins, our triple pumpkins, 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 pumpkins. So we shall. We shall see where this one ends up. I actually have a couple of places that have asked me for possible donations for fall festival auctions and things like that. So we may end up with this one at a fall festival, or hey, I don't know. This one may end up on my door. We'll have to wait and see. Well, I hope everyone has a great week, and I don't know. I keep thinking, maybe I'll flip flop more into Christmas each week, but yet somehow end up coming back and doing at least one more fall thing. So we'll see what happens next week. I do have one Christmas one that I'm really excited about doing, and so I don't know if I'll do it next week or if I'll wait. We still have Halloween coming up, so everybody still has the fall vibe going on and thought process. So we may get in one more fall one. I don't know. We'll wait and see. But y'all have a great night and have a good week, and I'll see you next time.